So did Don Coram legalize hemp just so he could get rich off all these hemp farms? That's what Lauren Boebert is accusing Don Coram of. Corruption, fraud, deceit. You know why Don Coram legalized hemp? So he can make millions off of hemp. This is Colorado. You making money off the hemp? You're not making money off the hemp. You make money off the marijuana. Okay, so the Caneos, there was some hemp farm here. It had some sort of accounting practices or some. All right, so here's Lauren Boebert. My campaign will be using digital, newspaper, radio, direct mail, maybe some television to generate awareness and to seek any whistleblowers that may know more details about Don Coram's corrupt behavior. Lauren Boebert told Colorado Politics in an email. Damn! She is going after Don Coram by newspaper, radio, direct mail, TV, online. Lauren Boebert added that the campaign plans to spend enough to educate every voter about what a corrupt politician Don Coram is. Don Coram also brought up the nearly $1 million in compensation Lauren Boebert's husband received over 2 years from an oil and gas company, which promoted a formal complaint from a Boebert critic asking the Office of Congressional Ethics to investigate whether the payments violate federal bribery statutes or a rule that prohibits influence trading by House members. If I want to make $1 million, Don Coram said maybe I should try consulting for an oil and gas firm for $500,000 a year and lie about it on public filings. That seemed to have worked for Lauren goddamn Boebert. We're in a water crisis right now. I think it's important when you have somebody who actually has a background of water knowledge and issues. That's what I'll bring to the United States Congress, Don Coram said, responding to the charges contained in Lauren Boebert's ad. The Don Coram campaign said this: Don Coram did not legalize hemp or pass legislation regarding hemp so that he could enrich himself. That is a lie. Plain and simple. Contrary to Lauren Boebert's assertions, Don Coram's campaign insisted that the lawmaker is not a millionaire. He's not in the hemp business. The business she claims could have yielded her opponent $25 million stopped operating 2 years ago after failing to turn a profit, his campaign said. What's more, Don Coram only held a minority stake in the business, and instead of cultivating the 500 acres Lauren Boebert used in her calculations, the business only grew the crop on 20 acres. So take that, Lauren Boebert. Don Coram only barely got into the hemp business. He didn't raise 500 acres. He only raised 20 acres. And he didn't make $25 million. He made no money because it was a terrible business venture. It seems a little corrupty, doesn't it? He legalized hemp and then got into the hemp business. If it was Don Coram who told Colorado Public Radio his company contracted with the CBD company for $50,000 per acre and expected to have 500 acres of production, calling it Coram's $25 million scheme to enrich himself isn't an extrapolation, it's math, Don Coram publicly bragged about. So maybe he thought he was going to make all that money, but it didn't turn out. In their suit, David Laird, L-A-I-R-D, Dale Ruggles, Mandy Roberts, and Byron Roberts raised issues with the number of signatures Don Coram's campaign submitted to the Colorado Secretary of State's office. So Lauren fucking Boebert is just absolutely going after Don Coram. My God, first question his fucking, goddamn signatures. Got a couple of the residents and got them to submit fucking shit to the Colorado Secretary of State. Yeah, right, Mandy, maybe they all, I don't know, somebody knows what, but then after that, finds out about the hemp fucking business. This is, incredible stuff. Lauren Boebert is kind of raking Don Coram over the coals. Don Coram, he said that Lauren Boebert can't think on her feet. So, that's something there, right? Don Coram says that he's a legislator, not an instigator. He's a workhorse, not a show horse. Basically saying he's got substance and she's just a bunch of superficiality. She's just a bunch of superficiality. Lauren Boebert wrote, in fact, I recently secured 9 important victories for rural Colorado through the regular non-earmark process. Her list included things like, number 1, funding rural community health centers. Number 2, funds for NASA's space program in Colorado. Number 3, the Indian Irrigation Fund to help the Southern Ute tribe. The problem is, all the 9 things that were part of the Omnibus Appropriations Bill, H.R. 2471, that Lauren Boebert brags about now, she actually voted against. She brags about voting against. So she brags about voting against the bill March 9th. I'm a no on the $1.5 trillion spending bill that fails to defund Biden's vaccine mandates. So she's against, with the spending bill, but then once the spending bill passed, and she's like, well, hey, look at me, Colorado. I helped you get money for that Indian irrigation fund to help the Southern Ute tribe. I helped you get funds for NASA's space program in Colorado. Look at me, Lauren Boebert. I got money for the rural community health centers in that universal health care. You're paying for clinics and community health centers in rural areas, which I think is fantastic. It's just not, conservative. That's communist. I mean, is she a communist, or what's in the military? If you wear a uniform despite not having served, it's called stolen valor. Somebody had bought some of the medals. I got a Purple Heart medal off the internet. Lauren Boebert's brazenly taking credit for programs she opposed with her nay vote on the omnibus bill is the legislators' version of stolen valor.